present the social, political, and economic aspects of Ireland. Ireland is located in the northwest of Europe. It is a republic with a parliamentary regime. The country is divided into 26 countries and has a population of 4.995 million inhabitants, according to that from the World Bank. Dublin is its capital and it has enormous historical and cultural wealth. Ireland is a welcoming country whose people are renowned for their hospitality and friendly. The predominant language in Ireland is English. Only a small part of the population speak Irish Gaelic on a regular basis. It is economical. You will not notice the difference with Spain too much. Its people are friendly, careful, and welcoming. It has a rich and varied culture. It is a good place to have fun between nightlife. Ireland is a country with a deeply Catholic culture. It is important to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, the patron of the country, and it is celebrated every March 17. The most typical and characteristic of the party is that everyone goes out with something green and with a shamrock. The clover represents the Holy Trinity and symbolizes the teaching that St. Patrick brought to these lands. Parades are held throughout the day, ending the day in the pubs in the capital Dublin. The celebration lasts up to 5 days. Being in Ireland, we can't have something for sure. Good beer we will find. Among the most popular, we find a delicious bread with cheese, raisins, and sultanas called barmbrack. One of the best combinations that we can find in Ireland is that of the oysters and Guinness beer. In the restaurants, we find traditional menus that have typical dishes of the area such as Irish stew, local lamb with potatoes, creamy mashed potatoes. First of all, the quality of life in Ireland is extremely high. According to the United Nations, Ireland was the third country with the highest Human Development Index. Health, education, and wealth are evaluated to compel the ranking. Ireland excels in all those respects and is second only to Switzerland and Norway. Ireland offers many jobs opportunities for young people as it is home to thousands of tech companies, from startups to industry giants like Facebook, Google, and Twitter. They chose Ireland as their main headquarters in Europe, so much so that Dublin is known as the European Silicon Valley. The most important sectors of the Irish economy are industry with 36.5%, information and communication with 12.1%, and wholesale and retail trade, transport, hotels, and restaurants with 11.7%. Intra-community trade accounts for 11% of Ireland's exports, regarding imports 16%. The Republic of Ireland has had spectacular economic growth, where Ireland went from being a country of poverty to one of the countries with the highest GDP per capita in the world. This was related to the arrival of innumerable global macro companies that established their headquarters in Ireland, such as the multinational Canon or the PC World franchise. Regarding the Corruption Perception Index of the public sector in Ireland, it has 22 points. Inhabitants have a low level of perception of government corruption. Whatever city or town you go to, you will always find at least one pub where you can enjoy a good glass of Guinness beer, one of the most famous beer in Ireland. Ireland, since 1978, offers a very attractive fiscal and regulation flexibility framework for foreign investment. Permission is not required to establish a company. there is the right to establish it itself, although in some sectors it is required to comply with some contents of the license or authorizations, such as the sales of alcoholic beverage, restaurants, or the regulatory regime for foreign investment in Ireland is detailed below. Ireland has 90 representatives on the European Economic and Social Committee. This advisory body, which represents employers, workers, and other interest groups, advises on the proposed legislation, so that possible change in the labor and social situation of the member countries are better known. Ireland also communicates with the EU institutions through its permanent representation in Brussels as the Irish Embassy to the EU. Their primary role is to ensure that the interests and policies of the country are pursued as effectively as possible in the EU. How much is Ireland's GDP per capita? GDP per capita is a very good indicator of the standard of living, and in the case of Ireland in 2020 it was €74,870. This figure assumes that its inhabitants have a good standard of living. Science, it is ranked number 5 in the ranking of 196 countries in the GDP per capita ranking. Currently, Ireland is a country with a high quality of life. With advanced political and economic strategies, it's a beautiful country to live and visit. The strategy that can be used to absorb any low in the economy in the face of COVID will be encourage investment, creation of more companies for more jobs, protect formal employment, to preserve informal employment, not to make unnecessary expense. Ireland is considered the most outstanding country for how it was able to overcome the crisis of the 2018, so much so that it was called the Celtic Tiger for its good political and economic strategies, exceeding 51% of GDP per capita. Thanks. And